Hello, thank you for checking out Mr. Ware's videos, and today we're looking at doing two-step equations. Two-step equations. So, as the title says, there's two steps to these, okay? Even though I've got three steps here. But the first step is to add or subtract to isolate the variable term. The next step is to multiply or divide to solve for the variable. And then the third step is to check your solution. All right, so let's take a look at our first example. All right, so here we've got 17 plus 5x equals negative 23. Okay, so what I want to do, the first step is to isolate the variable. So that's what I'm going to do first. So the variable is multiplied against 5x. So I want to remove everything else around 5x. And I have 17, so I have to remove it. But in order to remove it, I have to do the opposite. So what I have here is a positive 17. So the opposite of a positive 17 is a negative 17. Okay. And that's going to make this 0, which will isolate the 5x. But to keep it balanced, to keep it equal, what I want to do is subtract 17 on both sides. Okay. And once I do that, my equation stays balanced, equal. So now I'm going to cancel out the 17 minus 17. And there you put 0, but I'm just going to leave it blank and bring down the 5x. Okay. And that's going to be equal to negative 23 plus a negative 17. But since they're the same sign, you find the sum, so you add them. Minus 40. Then my next step is to multiply divide to solve for the variable term. So to do that, since it's multiplication here, 5x is 5 times x, I'm going to do the opposite. And I'm going to divide. So I'm going to divide by 5. That'll get 5 divided by 5 will get me 1. And 1 times x is x. Okay, so I get x here. I'm going to change my colors back. Divide by 5 here on both sides. And here I get x. Okay, so now I have negative 40 divided by 5. Negative divided by positive is a negative, and 40 divided by 5 is 8. Okay. Now my final step is to check my solution. Well, if I'm saying x is equal to negative 8, I need to plug it in here for x to see if it actually equals negative 23. So what you do is you take the 17 plus 5 times negative 8, and then type that in your calculator, and you would get negative 23. If you type your answer in, you don't get the same thing as you have up here, then it's not right. Okay, go ahead and pause the video here and see if you can solve this one. All right, let's take a look at this one. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is isolate the variable. So we've got this positive 26. I'm going to go opposite of that, okay? Now, I'm not subtracting the 26 because it's on the left side. I'm subtracting the 26 because it's not the variable. It's a constant. So I'm going to isolate this variable. So I'm going to subtract 26 on both sides. Okay. And that'll get me 0 over here. I'm going to bring down a negative 5z. Let me say z. I'm put this line to show you I mean z and not 2. Then negative 49 plus negative 26, same sign, find the sum, you add those together, and you get negative 75. Okay. Next, I'm going to continue to isolate the variable, doing the opposite. The opposite of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide by not 5, but negative 5. divided by negative 5. Okay, so negative divided by negative is a positive. 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 1 times z is z. All right, and then negative divided by negative is a positive, and 75 divided by 5 is 15. All right, now to double check your answer, you could do 26 minus 5 times z, which is 15. Hit enter and see if you get negative 49. And when you do, you know that it's correct. All right, let's take a look at another question. All right, so this one's a little different. It has this fraction, but all that really means is division. The variable's being divided. Okay, so we're gonna follow the exact same steps. Let me zoom in a little closer. Okay, first thing I'm gonna do is isolate this x over 5 by doing the opposite of minus 47. The opposite of minus 47 is adding 47. So I'm gonna add 47. But I'm gonna do it on both sides. All right, so this will give me 0. I'm gonna bring down this x over 5. And then 43 plus negative 43 plus a positive 47. Different signs find the difference. You subtract. So 47 minus 43 is 4. All right, now what we're going to do is you're going to do the opposite of division, which is multiplication. And I'm going to multiply by 5. Okay, now that's a whole number, and I'm going to multiply by 5 on both sides. To make a whole number a fraction, you just put it over 1. Okay, so you end up with 5x over 5, which this cancels out, leaving 1, which means you get x. Another way to do that is just to cancel the 5s out like here. X over 1 is x. Okay, now 5 times 4 is going to get me 20, and my answer, x is equal to 20. Now for my last step, I want to type the 20 in here in the calculator, okay? But it's a fraction, but that's okay. All you got to do is when you type in the calculator, just put it in parentheses. So you got x, well, I don't want to put x. I want to put 20 divided by 5, close parentheses, and then minus 47. And hit enter, and you should get negative 43. All right, go ahead and pause the video right here and see if you can solve this one. Now, for help here, you see how you got this negative that's right here? Just go ahead and write it on this negative 6. So make it b minus 6. I mean, sorry, b divided by negative 6. All right, let's take a look at this one. So what we're going to do is isolate the variable. We're going to zoom in. We're going to subtract or add 50. Do the opposite. Add 50 on both sides. And negative 50, positive 50 gives you 0. Bring down this equal sign here. Different signs, find the difference, 49 and 50. The difference between that is 1, and it's positive because the 50 is bigger. And I'm going to bring down this b over minus 6. Now, anytime you have a negative on a fraction, you can put it over the whole fraction, or you can put it on the number in the numerator or in the denominator, top or bottom. So what you want to do now is do the opposite of division, which is multiplication. So we're going to multiply by negative 6 on both sides. And then we'll go ahead and these 6's cancel out, leave me with just b. And then 1 times negative 6 is negative 6. All right. Now the last step to check, what you want to do is you've got this minus negative b over 6. I'm going to put this minus or negative on the outside of the b over 6 as my type in the calculator. So the fraction I'm going to put in parentheses, okay? So I got minus, parentheses, and I'm putting in b. Now that what I have for b is negative 6. So I put negative 6 here. Now hit divide, then put 6, close parentheses for the fraction, minus 50. Then once you do that, you hit enter or equal, and you should get negative 49. Okay. Well, that is solving for two-step equations. I want to thank you for checking out Mr. Ware's videos. Have a nice day.